This is Real Deal Sports Talk, November 27th, 2018.
Mr. Green.
I'm found to be the nicest. On the mic it with rhyme writing. My mind states gone cipher divine righteous. This is the sound of refinement. Extra time spent on every line written. You can hear the difference when I'm rhyming. The barbarian rap writings like Clash of the Titans. I wield the pen like Poseidon holding the golden triton. On the mic I strike faster than vipers and flashes of bolts of lightning. My poetry will leave the Pope enlightened. Whack rappers is past time. You paid the Pied Piper. As the price just skyrocket, I stand to make a profit. I rap circles and spirals above your favorite artist, like an identifiable flying object with balls so far over your head. I'm honest to be rhyming in high orbit. If I dumb the metaphors down, you think the sky was falling. Rappers' arms too short to shadow box with the lords in the pantheon of rap. I'm the high exalted, the new God flow. Prepare your offering. I treat the booth like the synagogue, cause the mic's my calling. I should congregate a following, although agnostic. You felt the flow was God sent, further personifying my Messiah complex. I'm a wordsmith, the Wizard of Oz over percussion, throwing up sick bars. My flow fucking disgusting. Cutting edge caliber, higher purpose and vision. We write our own rhymes, you buying verses that's written. Mixed martial bars that'll beat you into submission. Lethal like a steel desert eagle with precision. Switch the elements, I'm the alchemist when I'm mixing metals. Accelerate on these devils, we reaching different levels in my own zone in this game. Like I play alone, breaking bones like a giant in the Game of Thrones. I hire breathe like a dragon when he fire breathe. I'm never separated from the mic, it's like we Siamese. Ultramagnetic MCs spit it magnificent, so deliberate with the sickest shit, it's ridiculous. Patterned after the greatest to ever do it, the legends destined to manifest on this earth. What's up in heaven in 24/7? This presentation is feature worthy. Got so much class, I study, I'm never leaving early. Every song sensational, heavy rotational. Snakes will try to copy this style, but they not capable. Overcame problems, could damage a man's confidence, and now we making music that travels across continents. You could call me Mars with these bars, I'm like the god of war, a battle rap cannibalistic beast, a carnivore.
And with that, I'm back. I've been out for 2 weeks. I've been sick. I had some crazy bronchitis, walking around like I was having a constant asthma attack, but I'm back. I'm able to speak again. I can breathe. And I'm ready to talk some sports. We've missed a lot. We're going to leave that in the past. We got a lot of stuff that we're going to talk about today, specifically the wasted quarterbacks in the NFC North currently. This guy, this beast, this football playing Jesse, Phillip Lidsay for the Denver Broncos. We definitely going to talk about that man among men. I got my picks for week 13 going. And I hope everybody's doing good. The intro right there, that was the Barbarians, Vivid Scientific and Dom Banks. My boys going way back to high school. They are the official music right now of Real Deal Sports Talk with KP. I'm KP, in case y'all forgot about me. I'm back. So here it is. Last show. Well, we got one more show in November. Second to last show in November. We've been gone for a couple weeks. All kinds of things have gone down. But what I've been noticing is that the NFC North right now has some issues. Right now, the NFC North is probably the most talented division in all of the NFL when it comes to their quarterback play. All four of them. Mitchell Trubisky's having a great season with Matt Nagy calling plays and designing an offense that utilizes his skill set and a Tariq Cohen skill set and mixes in the other guys here and there. I expected a lot more from Jordan Howard, but hey, another story, not what we're talking about. But then you got Kirk Cousins, $84 million guaranteed, coming over, supposed to be the savior, replaces Case Keenum, who took you to the NFC Championship game, and barring a miracle, who knows? Maybe they end in the divisional round. Maybe that play was so big, they weren't as up for the next game in the NFC Championship. You shouldn't say that, but it happens. It's realistic. That happens to teams all the time. You see it across platforms. They're not having, they're in second place right now, but they're not having the season anybody expected, adding a Kirk Cousins to that team. The defense has faced injuries. But he's not even one of the two I really want to talk about today. Because Minnesota does have a 500 or better record. They are still, in the playoff hunt. Mathematically, so are the Packers and the Lions. But you look at their quarterback situations. You look at their offenses. You look at the players they are now throwing the ball to, be it to injury, be it to they've traded talent for picks, be it to they let guys go and didn't re-sign them in free agency. And you got to wonder. It makes me wonder, and I personally think that it's 100% going on, that these two quarterbacks are being wasted. You've heard guys like Skip Bayless and other guys on Twitter point out that Aaron Rodgers is not the GOAT because Tom Brady has done so much more in the playoffs. Tom Brady has won the Super Bowls. Tom Brady has a winning record in the playoffs. Aaron Rodgers is below 500 in the playoffs since his lone Super Bowl win. Okay. Valid point. That's all true. That doesn't take away from the skill level or the quality of the player in a team game. Like I've said, I don't know how many times I've said that on this show. Football is the ultimate team game. You hear different guys want to label positions. Oh, this is a dependent position. This is a dependent position. Every position on that field is a dependent position. If the guy next to you is not doing his job, if the guy behind you is not doing his job, you are going to get tore up. You're going to get run right off the field, and you're going to look that way. You're going to look like a team that doesn't know what they're doing. And right now, that's the Packers, and that's the Lions. I'm being real when I say that because as you guys know, as my listeners know, I'm a Lions fan. Have been for going on almost 30 years now. But those two teams are lost. Those two teams do not have the talent to run the systems that they want to run, which are mundane, basic, line up, and my guy needs to beat your guy, and my quarterback better have a really good day, or we're not going to do anything. Lions, this is who Stafford's throwing the ball to, be it to injury or all the other circumstances right now. Bad offensive line. Jim Bob Cooter, you have no creativity to your offense. There's barely any misdirection. It's line up, run, line up, short pass, line up, get sacked, line up. So Stafford, Kerryon Johnson, hey, he's impressed me. I take back everything I said back from the draft where I didn't think it was a good pick. And the kid's going to be good. If he stays healthy and we give him quality blocking, he is going to be good. LeGarrette Blount, as much criticism as he's taken this year, I think he's been excellent for this team. Theo Riddick, hasn't played a huge role, hasn't been that player we've seen in the past, needs to be able to step up a little more. Now here's where we are at with receivers for the Lions. Outside of Kenny Galladay, okay, he could be a legitimate 2, maybe a 1 on some NFL teams. Tell me, anybody, go ahead, let me know if you think TJ Jones, Andy Jones, Bruce Ellington, or Brandon Powell would be a starter for any team in the NFL. Some of these guys were not on rosters until recently. They were working out. At the tight end position, you got Luke Wilson, Levine Toilolo, and Michael Roberts, who has no heart for the game. He's an athletic guy who played football to make money. 2 interceptions last week on throws to him. One, he overruns the route because he doesn't understand how to think out the game and get into the zone and make your quarterback a target. And the other one because he felt contact and just decided to stop on the route. Offensive line, Taylor Decker has regressed, in my opinion, ever since his rookie year, and then he got injured. Frank Ragnow's been up and down this season. Graham Glasgow, he has gotten hurt. Kenny Wiggins is in at right guard because Lang is out for the year. I think his career might be over, actually. And Rick Wagner has not been the player at right tackle that we all wanted him to be when we brought him over from Baltimore and made him the highest paid tackle in football. On the defensive side of the ball, it's nothing more than a mismatch of patches and guys who once were and some tryhards. Snacks has been amazing. Damon Harrison, Big Dane, has been amazing since he came over, helping that run defense. Deshaun Hand could be Defensive Rookie of the Year. But Ezekiel Ansah never met his potential, can't stay healthy. Then you got guys like Akwara and Robinson, who's underperformed. Francois, who's only made an impact in a game this year. Kennard, Jared Davis, who can't cover anybody. Darius Slay's even having kind of a down year because who we got at corner? Like, there's no secondary on this team. Tez Tabor's been a starter. He's been a second guy. Now he's third. You got an undrafted rookie who wasn't on a team. He was a practice squad guy, Mike Ford, now getting more reps than him. Deshaun Sheed, okay, you put him on the right guy, he can cover him. But these are teams lacking talent, lacking a clear path. You hear the proposed trade by Peter King to send Matthew Stafford to the Jags. If you put Matthew Stafford on the Jags, Leonard Fournette can run the ball the way he runs the ball and not, get himself kicked out of games and have injuries. And that defense starts playing with swag again because they're not giving up and they're actually playing football. That's a Super Bowl contender instantly. And they don't have top flight receivers. A lot of what ifs in that scenario. But if you think about it, you put Stafford on that Jags team last year with the way they were playing, they more than likely make it to the Super Bowl. I wouldn't say they're going to win it, but they more than likely would have made it to the Super Bowl last year with a better quarterback. Blake Bortles has been one of, if not the worst quarterback in the NFL since he was drafted. You fire the offensive coordinator this week. Cody Kessler's going to start. But somehow Colin Kaepernick can't play football. Okay, another topic, another day. Now the Packers. Who's Aaron Rodgers get to throw the ball to? Like, what's going on with that team? Same offense for the last 40 years, it seems like. Don't want to spend any money. Don't want to bring in free agents. Everything. I've been saying it all season. They're as good as Aaron Rodgers is going to be each and individual game. And if he can't make miraculous plays and put everything on his shoulders and scramble and get that open guy, it's not going to happen for this team. Aaron Jones is finally getting some reps. Jamal Williams is second. Devontae Adams is John Taylor, okay? I understand he's a talented kid. He can catch the ball. A talented guy. Speed. Can take the top off. But he's John Taylor. He's a 2. He shouldn't have to be your 1. He's a natural 2. You put him next to a natural 1, now you've got a scary offense instead of just an offense that can be good. Randall Cobb's been nothing this season. Equanimous St. Brown, rookie. Marcus Valdez-Scantling, not getting anything there. Jimmy Graham's broken thumb. He hasn't been much. Lance Kendricks hasn't done much. Mercedes Lewis hasn't done anything. Bakhtiari's hurt now. The offensive line's getting banged up. You got, I mean, what? What do you got on defense? Nothing. Wilkerson's on IR. Nick Perry's on IR. Clay Matthews, I told you, you're going to get a play here and there, but he's not the dominant guy anymore. You got a young secondary who's playing hard and trying to come around as this season's going on. You got Kevin King, Jair Alexander, probably made the best play of the season the other day when he ran through Adam Thielen, knocking Stephon Diggs to the ground, and then created the play for Stephon Diggs to be tackled behind the line of scrimmage. Josh Jackson. So you got a lot of young guys there. Mason Crosby's had the worst year of his career this season with the kicks that he's missed. Packers have a tie. They're 4-6-1. Percentage points ahead of the Lions. But are Aaron Rodgers and Matthew Stafford then getting it done? Or is how much are they contributing to what the problems are on those teams? Well, passing statistics on the season. Aaron Rodgers is 6th right now. With nobody to throw the ball to, and a run game that hasn't been there until the last couple of weeks when they finally started to give it to their best running back. He's 6th with 3,200 yards. Now the Lions, they've had a little bit more consistent running game throughout the year, but nobody to throw the ball to. The least amount of separation from the defender on a per pass attempt, or near the bottom if they're not still there. And Stafford still has 2,800 yards. And right now he's got guys, again, that were not on NFL rosters a couple weeks ago. He's top 5 in sacks. 17 touchdowns to 10 interceptions. He's been sacked 32 times. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 quarterbacks who have been sacked as much or more than Matthew Stafford this season. And right now he's sitting at 12th in passing yards. Very well could be in the top 10. Tom Brady's at 11th. Eli Manning is at 10th. He might not catch any of those guys with the people he's throwing the ball to. But then that goes to show how well Aaron Rodgers, how good that man is. He's 6th with the same amount or less talent than what Matthew Stafford has. On basic, boring offenses. Both of these teams in rushing. Their top rusher. Kerryon Johnson, there's one, 16th in the league. Aaron Jones, 18th in the league. So Kerryon Johnson barely technically puts Detroit as a top half rushing, having a top half rusher in the NFL. And he's a rookie, 641 yards. Aaron Jones is the guy for Green Bay. He's got 606 yards. 5.4 yards per carry for Johnson. 6.0 yards per carry for Jones. Okay, so both teams getting a little bit of something out of the rushing game. But nobody throw the ball to. Injured offensive lines. Top receiver for each team. Where are they at? Devontae Adams is 8th. He is the go-to guy for Green Bay this season with over 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns on the season. Detroit's top receiver, Kenny Galladay, 19th, 804 yards, 5 touchdowns. So not much there. They don't have, either one of them, don't have another receiver in the top 40. Nobody to throw the ball to. It's either the one person or there's nothing there. Where are these two teams' defenses at? Or who are their best defensive players? Blake Martinez is up there. He's got 97 tackles. He's tied for second in the NFL. He's having a great season at linebacker. Detroit's top defensive tackle player? Not in the top 40. So they don't have a dominant player. Total offense. Right now, Green Bay is 10th in total offense, thanks to that 3,072 passing yards put up by Aaron Rodgers to nobody so far this year. And Detroit is 23rd in total offense, with all of those sacks and nobody to throw the ball to. And let's blame the quarterback. And let's not look at these offenses and the plays that are being called. Total defenses for these two teams. Green Bay is 12th. Detroit is 13th. They're both giving up over 355 yards per game. So, technically above average defenses. Bending and breaking. But you got to wonder, do you switch, if you were to switch these two players onto different teams? If you put an Aaron Rodgers in LA for the Chargers, or for the Rams that matter, what does that team look like with those talent pools that they have? If you put a Matthew Stafford on Kansas City, on who's a team? The same teams, the LA teams. If you put them on, what do those teams look like? And the fact of the matter is, if you're honest about it, you put both of those players on good teams, and those teams are going to be good, really good Super Bowl contending teams. And people go, oh, well, Stafford had Tate and Stafford had Calvin Johnson. Yeah, he did. And no running game. And he had to throw the ball 50 times a game. And teams were able to tee off and just rush the passer. And Calvin couldn't be as great as he was all the time. The seasons they got close, it didn't work out. Point to his record against teams over 500. Okay, those are stupid stats. It's a team game. Neither one of these quarterbacks, since Stafford's, I think, 4-60 against teams with a 500 record, and Aaron Rodgers is 5-6 or 5-7 in the playoffs since the Super Bowl. Neither one of them are going out on the field by themselves and playing these games. There's a lot of factors that go into winning and losing games, and I'm really just sick and tired of hearing about how it's the quarterback's fault. Stafford's not playing well this season. He's played better. But look what he's working with. Look at the play calls. You've got almost no motion ever in the Lions offense. It's, we're lining up, here's our protection call, hike. And that you can't do that in today's NFL. That makes it easy for the defenses. Because now we can just react. We can attack. Mike McCarthy, come on. At one point you were considered an offensive genius. You helped him get the Super Bowl win. And then you just keep running the same stuff. Like, maybe you've changed the terminology, but your offense is not involved. You've got a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers, who's the most physically gifted quarterback that I've ever seen play the game. He can throw it from any angle. He can throw it going to his left, going to his right, from the pocket, on the run. He has improvisation. And you want to see guys like that be on teams like the Saints, be on teams like New England, be on teams like Kansas City that have talent, that are good teams where they can showcase their skills and how good they are at a high level and not have to go through so many motions and so many what ifs, and they're being wasted. And Detroit's got a bad history of wasting players. They wasted Barry Sanders. They wasted Calvin Johnson. The fans loved them for sure. They had great careers. They were amazing players. But put those players on teams that were built right. That didn't just decide they were going to depend on one guy. That were willing to spend money on free agents at key positions. They're being wasted. Stafford's the only quarterback in the history of the NFL to go 16 games and complete 60% of his passes. Nobody, if you wouldn't look it up, would know that stat with the way he's talked about as a quarterback. No scheme. There's no scheme. The play calling's horrible. Jim Bob Cooter, you're probably a great quarterback coach. You probably get along with the guys great. But you're not Sean McVay. You're not an offensive genius. You're probably a good coach. But as a play caller, you're lacking. Your creativity is lacking. The talent acquisitions for these teams needs to increase. Not every team is going to be built like New England, but Mr. Quinn, Mr. Bob Quinn, Matt Patricia, where you can get all these guys who just do things well here and there that you can piece together and it's going to work out. Talent matters. Coordinators matter. Green Bay's got Joe Philbin and Mike Patine. Now they bring Mike Patine over as defensive coordinator for Dom Capers. They think he's going to have an aggressive defensive style that is going to help the Packers get over that side of the ball. They make some moves. They bring in the young secondary. They bring in an Elijah Wilkerson and spend a little bit of money on a short-term contract. They bring Joe Philbin back into the fold from Miami and his other stops because he's familiar with that same system that they've been running forever. It was great when you had Randall Cobb as your third receiver, Jordy Nelson out there, Devontae Adams. You had a running game. You had Richard Rodgers. You had T.J. Lang. You had Brandon Sitton. You had Bakhtiari. You had a whole offensive line. The system works when you're loaded. It doesn't work so well when you're just got a bunch of yes men around you that want to do the same thing that they've been doing for years. It doesn't work. Detroit's got... All right, so Detroit hires Jim Bob Cooter a couple years ago. Promote him. He's offensive coordinator. They keep him on because of his relationship with Stafford. Guys like him. Then they hire Paul Pasqualoni, who he's had stops in the NFL. He's worked with some really good coaches. He's been part of teams that have been really good. But they hire him out of Syracuse, where Syracuse is now much, much better this year than they were when they had him. Boston College, excuse me. I'm thinking of Syracuse because Boston College actually just lost to Syracuse. But not known for their big defense. Not known for how good they were. Didn't go get a Harold Landry, who's having a nice season in Tennessee, to be an edge rusher for this team. That's your guy. How do you not bring in your guy or try and get your guy? And he's running a basic defense. Now, they've had a lot of injuries. They have no secondary. Their linebackers can't cover anybody in the passing game. And the defensive line only got better when Big Dame came on. Ashawn's been playing better. Deshaun Hand has been getting better throughout the season. But no real pass rush. Most of it coming from blitz packages, linebackers coming off the edge. Bending, and oftentimes breaking are what those two defenses offer right now. And I'm sorry, you got guys that have that much talent, you want to see them on good teams. That's the reason I'm okay with the NBA, with the players taking some of that power and control and decision-making back on how teams are going to be built and grouping up and playing together. I want to see the best play with the best. The dream team is the best basketball. Watching the Olympics and those guys all get together, top of the food pyramid. They're out prowling, they're out eating. That's what you want to see as a fan. I'm fine with it. Bring in the talent. Figure out how to make the roster work. But you need the talent. You need the right coaches. You need all the ingredients to mix to make that dish work. And right now, unfortunately, both Stafford and Rodgers are on some stank food don't nobody want that's starting to melt and look like cheese. Now what doesn't stink, doesn't look like cheese, is your boy Phillip Lindsay, who is a man amongst men that nobody wanted and everybody rejected. We'll give you a shot afterwards because you're only 5'8", 190. Phillip Lindsay's got a chip on his shoulder from 32 teams. Albeit, hey, he's on the Denver Broncos. He's on the hometown team. He was Denver Broncos prep football. Played at South High School in Denver, Colorado. Went on to University of Colorado Buffaloes to be one of their all-time rushers. To be an all-time Pac-12 returner. An all-time Pac-12 rusher. An all-time Pac-12 carry holder. Go look up all the records he set while he was at CU. Undrafted, uninvited to the combine. But man, does he have passion. Loves the game. Plays with grit. Plays with heart. 3775 rushing yards while he was at CU in his 4 years there. Over 1,000 receiving yards in his time there. 39 touchdowns in 4 seasons. That's just rushing and receiving. Over 1,000 return yards. Had 13 tackles. Because, you know, he also played special teams. Just like he did for the Broncos at the beginning of this season. All kinds of records. All kinds of leaderboard appearances. He can play. He's always been able to play. So why was he looked over? Because of his size? Because he was 5'8"? So you're not watching tape on guys anymore. You just need the prototype. Because the fact is, if you watch Phillip Lindsay's tape, unbelievable player. I would have liked, in fact, in the second and third rounds, I was going, okay, Detroit could get Phillip Lindsay here. Would have been thrilled. He easily could have taken Amir Abdullah's spot. He could have taken Theo Riddick's spot. He's a football player with talent. He's not just talent. He's not the Michael Roberts who got all the way to the Lions because he's talented. And he's not just a football player who doesn't have that talent also, who's not physically gifted. Because the boy can run 4.3. He'll put his shoulder into you in the middle of the line. If you make even the smallest spot, he's getting through it before you know he's gone. Effective in the passing game. Effective at picking up blitzes. Effective at running inside, outside, away from people. He tries to run over people. Everybody should want somebody like Phillip Lindsay on their team running the ball. And where's Phillip Lindsay at as an undrafted rookie? 7th in total rushing yards at 780. But out of the guys in the top 10, he's the only one with under 150 carries. He only has 135 carries at 780 yards. You put his production up to, say, Ezekiel Elliott, who's got, 82 more carries? Phillip Lidsay is by far covering the distance in their 200 and little over 200 yard difference, 300 yard difference. If you give him 80 more carries at 5.8 yards per clip. Now maybe that number comes down if he has 82 more carries. But you're looking at a guy who's put up 135 carries for 780 yards. Way less production, has not fumbled, runs it inside and outside. Ezekiel Elliott, who leads the league in rushing at 1,074 yards, he has 4 fumbles. He's averaging 97.6 yards a game, but he's also getting a lot more carries. Whereas Phillip Lindsay's only averaging 70.9 yards right now. In my opinion, Phillip Lindsay, he is a Pro Bowler this year. And I know for a fact there's people out there that as his story continues to grow, are looking to make documentaries, are looking to do work with, are looking to have him inspire other people. Because that's what he's doing. That's how you play football. That's what you should be out there doing if you are on the field. So I see you, boy, Phillip Lindsay. Keep running that rock. You are one of the best in the league as a rookie that nobody wanted. Keep that chip on your shoulder. Keep your dad proud. Keep your family proud. Keep doing what you're doing. Because, man, you are fun to watch play the game of football. So week 13, my picks for week 13. Do we have any buys this week? I don't think there's any buys this week. I believe everybody plays this week. I'm taking New Orleans to beat Dallas, Baltimore to beat Atlanta, Carolina to beat Tampa Bay, Chicago over the Giants. I'll take Miami over Buffalo, Denver to beat Cincinnati. I'm taking Detroit to upset the Rams. Laugh if you want. I don't pick against my team. I know the Rams should win this game, but I'm picking Detroit. Green Bay over Arizona, Houston over Cleveland, Indianapolis to beat Jacksonville because that defense just does not want to play, and they're starting Cody Kessler. Tennessee to beat the Jets, Kansas City over Oakland. Then I'll take New England over Minnesota, Seattle over San Francisco, Philadelphia over Washington, and I will take Pittsburgh to beat the LA Chargers. Those are my week 13 picks. I'm back. It was nice talking with y'all today. And until next time, you know how we do. Just be real.
Yo, Denver City life, living every night, getting it. All I see is green like it's night vision. My sight's different. My type driven. These niggas risking a life sittings over white flipping, but I ain't with it. I'm light skinned it. My mind gifted, intelligence in my disposition, aristocratic image, and not to mention I'm nice with it. The ice drip over cardigan sweaters, tight fitting, white linen. This is the type of shit that entice women. The fly shit that I'm on is passing the sky's limits. Why it's not surprising to see that all of these guys live it. I vivid, solemnly swear the rhyme exquisite with the time I'm giving. My mind flying, defying physics. I stay smooth like sipping out of champagne flutes. Always way cool, but it ain't a thing, just a flame cruise. You lame dudes, this that shit that you can't do. That's why you ain't boo steady watching me how I make moves. My hot city life got me way above the clouds. Paint the audience a picture every time I draw a crowd. I hold my weight with these bars, so make no mistake. I get to cooking like Chef Curry in Golden State. I'm motivated, I'm taking off, moving vertically. Saying that they were seeing me lyrically, that's absurd to me. Virtually murdering MCs on purpose. Cutting their body parts into pieces is verbal surgery. You say you hot, but you ain't burning to the 3rd degree. Time to bring some urgency in the state of emergency. There's no comparison to us, that's way embarrassing. Making something from nothing like ancient Native Americans. Man, listen, I'm undergoing a transition. My transmissions are filled with nothing but ambition. No remorse on these rappers like a Roman force. Snuck into the game on these suckers inside the Trojan horse. No remorse on these rappers like a Roman force. Snuck into the game on these suckers inside the Trojan horse.